The Webster Dictionary defines happiness as a state of well-being and contentment. For most people, being happy is a personal goal, but for governments, it is an operational objective. So how can nations achieve happiness? By ranking highly on a number of parameters: stability, freedom, public safety, social progress. But not all countries make the cut. Being a truly happy nation, much like being a happy human, is not that common. Report after report will tell you this. The most prominent among them is the World Happiness Report. Its first happiness index was published about a decade ago, and 6 out of these 10 years, one country has remained on top: Finland. It's a small northerly nation with a population of just 5.6 million people, and it has become the poster child for happiness. Finland is branded as the world's happiest country. But did you know that it wasn't always the case? Only a few decades ago, Finland had one of the highest suicide rates in the world. 1990 was a particularly dark year. That's when suicide mortality rate reached a peak. That year, Finland recorded 1,512 deaths by suicide, more than 1,500 deaths by suicide. Its population then was just under 5 million. So over 1,000 deaths is a big number. Experts say alcohol abuse was the biggest factor. Apart from that, the depression rate was soaring. But Finland has come a long way since. By contrast, in 2022, Finland had 740 suicides. So over the past 3 decades, Finland has halved the number of suicides. How did they do it? The secret to their happiness is multifold. Finnish national culture supports time spent with friends, but also time spent alone. Additionally, Finland has beautiful forests and lakes. It is Europe's most forested country. Finland also has low unemployment levels, low rates of inequality, and high rates of trust and security. But the biggest reason was this: a policy push. Finland puts mental health at the front and center of its governance. Mental health services are a nationwide priority in the country. Municipal authorities are in charge of it. They are heavily subsidized by taxes. Huge budgets are allocated. This year, in fact, $391 million have been put aside for this, which means fewer citizens struggle to get help. And that's not all. Since the 1990s, Finland has run suicide prevention projects. They have improved care for depressive disorders and allowed early detection. There are awareness programs as well, not just for the public, but also healthcare providers and journalists. There is a robust national suicide crisis helpline. These projects have evolved with time. And now there are digital resources as well. All health districts have online mental health services like self-help tools or video therapy sessions. And all of this has helped them. Finland's suicide rate now stands at 12.9, meaning about 13 deaths per 100,000 people, slightly above the European average and above countries like Russia, India, and Australia. But it's still significant progress for a country that had one of the highest suicide rates in the world. Finland's success proves that the right policy can make all the difference. It's a lesson for other countries to take. Globally, every year, 700,000 people die by suicide, 7 lakh people. 5% adults suffer from depression, and this is the recorded bit. And while every nation has its own challenges and the Finnish template cannot be replicated everywhere, their example has one takeaway for everyone, and that is the power of communication. In Finland, the word suicide used to be unspeakable. Now it is part of everyday conversation because the government is talking about mental health and transforming attitudes. So if any nation wants to boost happiness, I guess starting a conversation is the way to go.